This is ACME Comics. Located in the middle of a strip mall in Greensboro, North Carolina, on the outside they have a colorful storefront and a visible company mascot. On the inside there are 2 sales floors, a wide section of new comics arranged weekly in an easy-to-understand way, and a gigantic selection of trade paperbacks and graphic novels from major and independent publishers.
I mean, if you go from like the graphic novel section of Barnes & Noble to here, there's no going back to Barnes & Noble.
Plus, they carry a wide selection of superhero collectibles and t-shirts and devoted an entire section of the store to the most important customers of all, kids.
I figured that all of the comic book stores were like this. Then when I go to another comic book store with my dad, I go, this comic book store is really small. They don't have anything.
And if you want to make sure you don't miss the release of any comic book or graphic novel, Acme's got that covered with the subscription service they host in the back of their store.
Ask them. I can call up and say I need something on my pull list. It's done. Don't have to worry about that.
Since its inception in 2002, Acme has participated in Free Comic Book Day in grand fashion, reaching all of Greensboro and bringing out costume heroes to hang out with kids, face painting, and most importantly, professionals from across the country that come to make connections with their fans face to face and draw free sketches.
It's crazy. It's total insanity. It's fun. This year I drove by, before I even came to get my comics, I did a flyby, and the line was out to the corner of the street, almost, all the way down the shopping center. And Acme had tents set up for people to get signings and autographs, and it was just wild fun. It was great.
If this was all Acme Comics had to offer its community, it really wouldn't be different from any of the other great comic book stores across the world. But it's not. This is Acme Comics, also known as the Carousel Luxury Cinemas, one of the few movie theaters in North Carolina that is locally owned. Whenever the Carousel plays a big comic book movie, Acme sets up a display in their concession stand, not only to promote their store, but to inform the audience of the origins of these Hollywood blockbusters. And last April, Acme also hosted the first annual comic book film festival.
And it was really cool because not only, was it just that we were having comic book movies, but they would find merchandise from the store to use as prizes, and there would be trivia before.
This is Acme Comics, also known as the Jefferson Pilot or Lincoln Financial Building, because it's the most visible and recognizable landmark in downtown Greensboro. When Acme commissioned Chris Giarrusso to draw an exclusive cover for his book, G-Man Cape Crisis, they opted to use this building as the backdrop in an homage to the cover of Superman vs. the Amazing Spider-Man.
Seeing the Empire State Building, I just thought it would be perfect to have the most recognizable building from the Greensboro skyline, the Lincoln Financial Building, in place of the Empire State Building.
Having a Greensboro landmark on the cover of a comic book earned Acme even more coverage in the local newspaper, a chance to bestow a copy to the mayor of the city, and help put the city of Greensboro, North Carolina, on the comics map.
Greensboro isn't necessarily New York City or California, so you wouldn't think a store like this would get something like that, but they made it happen.
This is Acme Comics, also known as the Greensboro Urban Ministry, a local nonprofit group dedicated to helping homeless and unemployed people. When Acme received collectible Green Lantern rings from DC Comics as part of its Blackest Night promotion, rather than simply give them away to people who bought comics, they opted to award them to customers who donated 2 canned food items to the cause.
It ended up being a huge success. People were donating more food than they had to, and we amassed a massive amount of food for it.
This is Acme Comics, also known as the Idiot Box, a local comedy club that was actually the original location for Acme Comics when it was founded in 1983. When Brian Michael Bendis, Michael Oeming, and David Mack visited Acme Comics on Thanksgiving weekend, they agreed to take part in a special Q&A event at the Idiot Box, where Acme customers got a chance to ask these formidable creators candid questions. But more importantly, every ticket in the sold-out event raised money for the Heroes Initiative, a nonprofit dedicated to helping veteran comic book creators.
Phenomenal. That is really going above and beyond thinking about yourself and your profit margin and your bottom line, and thinking about what does it mean to support the comic book industry.
This is Acme Comics, also known as Pierce Elementary School, where librarian Kathy Morrison hosts Bookworm Boys, a club where fathers and their sons commit to reading together 60 minutes a week. In October 2009, the staff at ACME brought out Jacob Shabbat, Brian Smith, Art Baltazar, Greg Schiegel, and Chris Giarusso to the Bookworm Boys meeting for an exclusive Q&A.
They were amazed at the talent, first of all, because we had a projector set up so that the men could draw and it would be projected on a big screen. And so they first drew their own cartoon characters like G-Man or Loud Boy, but then the kids would say, draw Spider-Man, and they would just see it appear, or Wolverine, or Superman, and they were just, that was just so cool, you know, it was just, they were like celebrities to these kids.
With so much happening inside the store, one might wonder why the staff at ACME chooses to leave their sales counter and venture beyond the four walls of their shop.
There's a good community spirit that we have around here. You know, people being of good spirits and being very generous and being friendly to one another. That helps us to, you know, that kind of shapes what kind of store we're going to be.
That because we really want to be a cultural rallying point for the community, as opposed to just, oh, there's Acme Comics, it's always been there, you know, maybe it always will be there, or probably always will be there. We want to be a place where people are excited to come to because of what we have going on and what we're doing for the community, rather than just because we're here.
Jermaine and Steven and all of the guys here have always made such a huge effort to get out into the community and to give back, whether it be donating books to students at some of the local elementary schools and high schools, or the canned food drives that they've done that have just made them more than just a store. It's made them a member of our community.
This is ACME Comics. This is ACME Comics. This is ACME Comics. This is ACME Comics. This is ACME Comics.